Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope every one of you is doing good. It has been a long time since we have talked anything about the US taxation. So today we are going to talk about something which is very interesting, something which is very important when it comes to US sales tax. And the topic that today we are going to talk about is the resale certificate. So resale certificate, that's the one thing. Another thing is sales tax permit. So we'll be going into detail as to what is resale certificate, who is going to issue the resale certificate, what are the advantages of the resale certificate, what is the need of the resale certificate, which states are going to provide the resale certificate, and how are you going to get the resale certificate. And then we will also talk about what is sales tax permit, and obviously to get the sales tax permit we will make a separate video on how we can get the sales tax permit. Now, the first and the very important thing is what is sales tax permit and what is resale certificate. Now let's just talk about the sales tax permit first. Now, when we talk about the sales tax permit, the sales tax permit is basically it's a permission. It's a permission from the state. About what? It's the permission from the state to collect and remit sales tax. That's very simple. So basically the sales tax permit is issued by the state. The state will issue the sales tax permit to the business. The business will apply here. Let me just add the row here. Here the business will apply for the sales tax permit to the state, and then state will give the sales tax permit to that business. And what is the purpose of that sales tax permit? It's basically a permission to collect and remit sales tax from the end consumer. Now that's very straightforward about sales tax permit. Now let's move to resale certificate. Now what is resale certificate? Now basically the resale certificate, it's a document that allows a business to buy products without paying sales tax. The resale certificate, it's a document that allows a business to buy products without paying sales tax. So basically, why is that this need? Who is going to issue? Now this will be issued by the purchaser oblique buyer, and the buyer will give this sales resale certificate to the seller, and then seller will keep and collect it as a record. The seller will keep it and collect it as a record. Now in any point of time in future, if at any point of time the audit comes, the seller has to provide a resale certificate to the particular state for which the audit will come. Now let me give you an example here. So let's say, first I will give you a very simple example. That's the example number 1 here, and then here I will go with an example number 2. That will be a little bit complicated, but let's just give a simple example here. Let's say there's a person whose name is William. Now William has a cloth store. Let's say he is a cloth store in Illinois state. Now as you know, the sales tax rate in Illinois is 6.25%, the state sales tax rate. Now William is a person who has the shop, which is a cloth store in Illinois state. Now when William will buy the cloths from a wholesaler, let's say he buys the cloths from wholesaler. Now what the wholesaler will do is he will issue an invoice, and that invoice will have a sales tax as well. So let's say William bought 1000 worth of goods from that wholesaler, and then On that 1000, the wholesaler will charge 6.25 percentage as a sales tax, and the total invoice will be this one, right? But what if William at this stage provide wholesaler his resale certificate? So William is a purchaser here, and this wholesaler is the seller, right? Now William will provide a resale certificate to the wholesaler. Now once he provide this resale certificate to the wholesaler, what wholesaler will do is he will not charge the sales tax. Now the next question that will come in your mind is, then who is going to pay the sales tax? The sales tax will be paid by the end consumer. Now let's say William will sell these goods to a customer who is basically using it. Let's say John is a customer. So what William will do is he will do 1000, and let's say he keeps his margin of 150, and then what he will do here is this one and this one, sorry, not this one. So he will add the tax here. Let's say the tax is 60.62.25, and he charged this amount, right? But for now, let's just leave this margin. When William will sell this to the John, now John is the end consumer. John is a end consumer. He cannot give the resale certificate because he will use it. He will personally use this. So that's why he will not give the resale certificate. And in this case, the William will pay the John will need to pay the sales tax because he is the end consumer. Now that's the concept of resale certificate. That's a very simple example. Now the next question is how you will get the resale certificate. Now every state has its pro forma on their website through which you will go, and you will just fill the information, and you can get your resale certificate directly from that state website. But remember, for resale certificate you should have a sales tax permit, number one. Number two, for resale certificate it is also very important for the resale certificate that you should have a proper information. So for example, the information that you will need is, for example, business name, uh, address, your FEIN or tax ID number, whatever. And I will show you a sheet where I have the complete information, where I have the complete links of each state by state, where I have the link, and you can just click that link and you will get that form. Once you get that form, you can just fill that form. I will show you the Excel sheet as well. I have that sheet ready here. But before showing that sheet, I just want to give you an example too here, which is a little bit uh, complicated in terms of resale certificate, because here we will have different parties here. So let me give an example here. Now let's say in this example we were only talking about one party, which is the William and the wholesaler, right? But now here we will gonna talk about the supply chain, a complete supply chain, and I will show you how that supply chain will work. Now for example, the first party is manufacturer, right? The first party is manufacturer, a person, a factory who is manufacturing. Then the second party is distributor. Then the third party is wholesaler. The fourth party is retailer, and the last party is John. Now how the system will work here? Who is going to provide the resale certificate at what stage? That's the question mark. Now here, now let's give an example. Let's say manufactures a coffee mug. Here we are talking about another example, which is coffee mug, right? So for example, there's a manufacturer who manufactures coffee mug. Distributor will come and ask manufacturer and ask him to purchase. Distributor comes and purchases a coffee mug. Now here the manufacturer will, what the manufacturer will do is he will charge the sales tax, but what the distributor will do is he will provide a resale certificate, and he will say that I'm not going to use this for my personal use, but I'm going to use this for the resale certificate, for the resale purposes, sorry, for the resale purposes. So at this stage the distributor is going to provide the resale certificate, and the manufacturer, who is a seller, because distributor is a purchaser here, is a purchaser here, and distributor is a purchaser and manufacturer is a seller. So distributor will give the resale certificate to the manufacturer. Now that's the first line, that's the first supply chain, right? The first supply chain. Now in the second supply chain, the wholesaler will come to the distributor. Now let's say wholesaler want to purchase it. Now in this case the wholesaler will issue the resale certificate to the distributor, and distributor will collect it and will keep it in his record, right? So here the purchaser is wholesaler and distributor is the seller. Now the next part is retailer. Now retailer will go to the wholesaler, and again the retailer will show his resale certificate, to the wholesaler. Wholesaler is a purchaser here, sorry, wholesaler is a seller here, and whereas retailer is a purchaser. In my initial example, in this example, I have already told you that resale certificate is gonna be given by the purchaser to the seller. The buyer needs to give the resale certificate to the seller. So in this example, now the retailer will provide a resale certificate to the wholesaler. Now here, when John, who is basically an end consumer, he is not going to provide the resale certificate, because he is actually using it for his personal consumption. So what John will do is John will purchase from retailer, and John will also pay the purchasing cost plus the sales tax here. Now the whole purpose of telling you this, why this supply chain works like this, is to avoid double taxation. I know many of you might have heard this term, but this is why the reason of this supply chain is to avoid the double taxation. Basically, what resale certificate does is it avoids the double taxation. And secondly, remember one thing, always the sales tax is always be charged by the end consumer. Remember one thing, now when we talk about the US, in terms of US, there are two tax, the sales tax and the use tax. So for right now, I'm not talking about the use tax. I have already a video on my channel which explains the difference between use tax and sales tax. For now, I'm talking about the sales tax. So sales tax is always charged by the end consumer. Now I hope this example is clear, and you might have, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. But I want to show you another thing here. Now I have this Excel sheet here. Now here you can see I have a state and I have a link here. Now for example, if I want to get the resale certificate for Illinois state, so what I will do is I will click this one, skip verification. So now you can see here, this is the link for the Illinois. Here you can go download this form. The resale certificate for the Illinois is CRT61. Every state has its own form. Now you can see this is the resale certificate. So what we will do, the purchaser will do here is he will fill this form, he will identify the seller, he will give the name, address, city, state, and he will give his name, address, whatever, and then here he will describe the property, right, the item that he is purchasing at the time of purchasing, and then he will do his signature. You can see here purchaser signature. You can see it's a purchaser signature. It's not a seller signature, because purchaser is gonna give the resale certificate to the seller, and he will fill the required information here and then print it, and then he will give this certificate to the seller. Now likewise here, if you want to see another state, you can see each of this state. I have this state here, and then I have the link here. Another thing is I have that folder here. Now you can see I have every PDF I have here. So this links, this Excel sheet and this PDFs are the paid service. If you want to get this Excel sheet, there are some charges for this. You can reach out to me on my email to get more details. So this is how we do the work. We have all these links available, and that's the only one sheet for resale. We have different sheets for different topics like audits, like registrations, and etc. So I hope that this topic is very clear now. If you have any questions, if you want to get more details about this sheet, and if you have any other questions, and also if you want to get our paid services, if you want to get us to do the filings and registrations on behalf of yours business, we are more than happy to provide you that service. For details, you can reach out to us on our email address. Thank you very much.